I was the lowest of the low. I come from the gutter. I treated my family like garbage. I burglarized my dad's house. I stole from my sister and my nieces. I was the worst of the worst. Sleeping on cardboard and sleeping in parks. There's many times that I've been shot at, bullets whistling by my ear. Didn't know if you were gonna live to the next day.
They live in the shadows of society, cold, hungry, hopeless. Drawn by their demons, they do whatever they can to survive. We don't often give them the time of day, but as more tents pile up on the streets, they are increasingly hard to ignore. How did they get there? Is there any hope for them? Most of their stories are never heard, but one man is using his voice to help. By sharing about his own life on Skid Row and how he pulled himself out of 25 years of drug and alcohol addiction, he hopes to enable other voices on the street to be heard, because that's the first step to recovery. Here's his story.
My mom left me when I was 3, and I was real bent out of shape about that. My father wasn't a bad father. He provided for us financially, but the emotional deal wasn't there. And I just wanted to be free from a prison that I was in, having to live up to my dad's expectations, because he had big expectations on us. At a young age, I learned to cook, I learned to clean, I learned to do laundry, I learned to wash dishes, clean house. I do all that. Growing up in Oakland, I saw the mink coats, the diamonds, the money, the girls, the nice cars, and I liked all that, So that's what I fancied myself, be a pimp player and a hustler when I was growing up. 8, 9 years old, started smoking weed, graduated to cocaine, and then when crack hit the scene, man, I was done with living, period. My mom, she was a beautiful lady, and I didn't think she wanted to be tied down at the time. She had to do her thing. My dad, she didn't want to be that housewife, sitting around and take care of kids all day long. So she left, went up to Oakland. My dad didn't want us to do drugs. Don't smoke the weed, don't do this, and those ominous warnings that I failed to heed from my dad. But my mom says, you know what? You can smoke weed and drink as long as you do it in the house. I don't want you to do it on the streets. So it's like, it's a free ride. She had the alcohol and she had the weed, and that's all we did all day long. I found out years later that my mom was a hooker. Buddy of ours came along and asked if we want to do this armed robbery. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna go back in the house. And they started calling me punk, scary, and all that stuff. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. And I had a gun, but my uncle had it because it wasn't working. And he was fixing the firing pin. So I said, Uncle, I need my gun. He goes, it's not fixed yet. I said, that's okay. So I put it back together, and we went in to rob this, it was a stop and go back then, but there's 7-Elevens now. Mm-hmm. And I commenced to rob this stop and go with a gun that didn't even work. Wound up going to prison. Right now we're getting ready to go to the spots where I ended up at. This is where my life took me, man. I used to come out here and do my drugs, and fight, get beat up, get shot at. I should have been dead right now. This is one of the places we used to always go eat. What? Gladys Park. I mean, wall to wall homelessness down here. I would go weeks, maybe months without eating. And I'm hungry. And people would feel sorry for me. They might give me $5 and I would go buy a hit. I was full blown, just living in bowling alleys. I lived in my sister's backyard for a long time because she wouldn't let me stay in her home because I would steal from her. I didn't bathe for weeks in, and talking about brushing my teeth. I started getting immune to that. I started getting accustomed to waking up trying to find my next hit. This is where all the crazies are right here.
This is the crazy section?
This is the crazy section right here. Right here is where it really happens. And this is the police station right here. There's a lot of stuff that happens right here. They don't even come out and do anything about it.
Looking back over all this time period, what's your biggest regret?
Well, one of the main things is hurting the people that was very close to me, my family. You know, that's a real regret. I think God had another plan for me. That's why I'm still here today. So this lady asked me to say a simple prayer and ask God to remove the obsession for you to drink and use. And I did that. And things started happening for me, man.
That was it? Just as simple as that?
It was just that simple. I was tired of living the life that I lived day to day, not knowing where I was going to get my next meal, or not knowing where I was going to sleep at. You know, not knowing if I went to sleep, would I wake up again? You know, I just know that God didn't put me on earth to live the way I was living. A lot of the amends that I made, you know, it's to free me. It's to clean my side of the street, the harm that I done, because I done harm to a lot of people. You know, I made amends to my dad, I made amends to my sister, financial amends that I made to people that I stole stuff from, you know, paying restitution to institutions and whatnot. But to be free from all the stuff that I done to anybody, you know, and that's what I share about. And people are like, you are a monster. I paid the price for it, and I cleaned my side of the street.
And what were the steps you took? What were the concrete physical steps you did?
Surrendering, that I couldn't do it alone, that I had a problem. And the problem wasn't drugs and alcohol. That was my solution. The problem was me. You know, so I dug deep. I went through all 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I did a lot of work. I had a couple parenting classes that I went to, anger management classes, just stuff outside of AA. You know, like I said, I did everything. I had to fess up to my own mistakes today. I can't keep hiding them and blaming other people. Even the youth that live with their parents, that are smoking weed, that are ditching school, you know, that's where it starts. I can say, don't. It's not the right way to go. And they're gonna do it anyway. Just trust and believe that it can happen to them too, and they might not be so fortunate to live. If they're smoking weed, trust me, weed goes to other things. People say, oh, it's just weed and it's from the earth and God made it, but it's bad for you. It leads you to other things, because once it stops working, then you want something stronger, like beer. You know, beer stopped working for me, so I went to Tanqueray. I never wanted to drink whiskey, Jack Daniels, you know, but I ended up drinking Jack Daniels because the other stuff stopped working for me. I was the rebellious little kid. Just because you told me don't do it, I did it. So listen to your parents, listen to the ominous warnings from people or friends. Don't get caught up in the peer pressure, because those are not your friends. You know, I did a lot of things to hang out, to be a part of, and these people weren't my friends. When I went to prison, nobody came to visit me but my dad. From when I was down there to now, it's tripled.
Really?
It's tripled. I go back and I work with other alcoholics and addicts, speak at meetings all over California. We do conventions, CA conventions, AA conventions. I'm on the AA call list. You know, I went through any length to get my drugs and alcohol. I'll go through any lengths to share my experience, strength, and hope with another suffering alcoholic addict who's just like me, who didn't have hope until I heard somebody share some hope with me. See, a lot of them downtown just want to be heard. If you go down there and you find somebody down there that looks crazy, very intelligent people. People just don't give them the time because they're homeless. You know, they smell, they stink. I go up and I embrace them because I can go wash my hands. I can go change clothes. If I see you without shoes, I got shoes on, I'll take my shoes off and give them to you because I can go home and get another pair.
So let's say you had the power to solve homelessness. Let's say you had a budget. What would you do?
You know, I think welfare is a hindrance of a lot of people getting out on their own because they depend on it. You know, I'm waiting. No, don't wait, go out and get yours. I was on welfare whilst I was in a recovery home to pay for my stay. But as soon as I left, I got off because I didn't need that. Right. You know, I can work. I'm able-bodied that I can get out and work. Anywhere in California or anywhere that has construction, I'm working. My thing is to give them an opportunity. You know, clean them up, educate them, give them 6 months. They don't have to worry about anything but getting on their feet. Contacts for employment, job referrals, vocational training, and stuff like that, just to help them get on their feet. Now, if they don't take that as an opportunity and turn their life around, then that's on them. God has blessed us. I mean, I'm blessed beyond my wildest dreams to have what I have today, and it's not a lot, but I'm grateful. You know, and I try to give back as much as I can, but I try to teach my boys the same thing. It's about giving, because the more you give, the more you receive, the more you're able to receive, but it's given from the heart.